some teams look very nervous and some of them look very excited.
Hello. Hello. See. Hello. 2 1 2. Yeah. 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 2.
Hello?
Hello.
Accra will followed by Moses Cofie. The others are they come? No problem.
Hello. 2
If you need a resolution to be attending functions on time, but you didn't tell us, then we can support you. Yeah, you are welcome. And happy we not met to see you. Yes, happy to see you. And I'm happy to say that you are here. So this year we expect you to attend the yes, yes. Accra. I want the hall to be as silent as any cemetery that you have ever seen. So, some are still struggling to settle. And that is what is making the hall noisy. Accra. There is one thing about Accra Academy which other schools don't have. And this makes us the best school in West Africa and the 8th best in Africa. And we are still making the effort to be the best in Africa and maybe in the near future the best in the world. And if you have gained admission to this school, it becomes a collective responsibility of all of us. I don't know why. Some of you are still talking, and I've told you that I want this hall to look like a cemetery.
Is it a battery? Hello? Hello, hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello? Hello? I don't want to see anybody in the main hall standing. If you are in the gallery and you are standing, it's understandable. But if you are in the hall and you are standing, it is not acceptable. It is those who are standing who are making the noise. So in the next second, I want all in the hall to be seated, and I want the room to be as silent as I've said earlier, like a cemetery. Now, if I hear any noise coming from any part of the room, those there will be punished. The punishment is that you will not take part in the item 13. You know what item 13 means? At least you are seeing signs that today will be, apart from the rich knowledge that you are going to get, you are also going to be giving something spontaneous. Quiet. 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 Some of you seated there are still talking.
Accra. Those in the gallery, listen to me. From here, I'm coming upwards. When I get you, you know what I will do to you. Those in the gallery, from here, I'm coming upstairs. There is still some noise around. If you knew the one who was telling you to keep quiet, you would have done that way back before further comments came up. If you are not well dressed, I've seen a couple of guys with the bottoms not well bottomed. And you sit straight. Don't sit akimbo. Don't sit like you are relaxing. You are on screen. This is going out there. And if you are not well positioned, you are sending the wrong signal. When I get close to you and you are not well organized, Mr. Solomon Lomote is behind there. A couple of other teachers are around. We are monitoring the way you are composing yourselves. That's wonderful. Maintain that. All right. The last announcement. Because the Form 3s are just behind us and they are learning, we are controlling the sound from the microphone. So it's not going to be very loud. So you are supposed to be quiet, so that a little effort on the microphone will get to you. Is that okay? We are not going to open the volume because the Form 3s are still in the classes. So keep quiet so that a little effort by the speaker, you understand and listen to whatever they have to tell you.
Yes. Accra. Now I'm happy with the atmosphere in the room. I think we are ready to start. Somebody told me some time ago that time is a precious resource. It's the most precious resource. And why is it the most precious? Because when you lose it, you don't get it back. And therefore, you must manage time very well. If you have to make any headway in life, then time must be managed very well. And so we want to manage this program in such a way that all of you will benefit, the school will benefit, and your parents will be happy. Is that okay? Right, so I'll call on Mr. No, I will not use Mr. Bleoobi Michael Nati, 84. He is the vice president of the Old Boys Association and also the managing proprietor of Cosmos Schools. Cosmos Schools. He is going to give us the opening prayer.
Let's stand and share prayer. Jehovah God, Father of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, we thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for the gift of today. We exalt you high above all. We declare that you are Lord over everything. Holy Spirit, without you we can't do anything. We commit this program, Lord, into your hands. We pray that, Lord, you guide the interactions and the deliveries. Let the purpose for this program be achieved. Let no flesh take glory for it. Take glory, Father. Take glory, Son. Take glory, Holy Spirit, for the success of the program. In Jesus' name we pray with thanksgiving. Amen.
Yeah, we want to thank, I'm compelled to say Pastor Nate, but he's not a pastor. Maybe he's secretly training to become a pastor. I don't know. What the way he handled it. Now, we want to sing the school anthem. And I want one of you to come and give us the tune. Most of us here, because of our age, our voices are hoarse. So we want one of you to come and give us the tune for our anthem. Any of you. If nobody comes up, I will select anyone who catches my attention. Yes. The school anthem. I don't want to believe that none of you can sing the school anthem. I don't want to believe that. Very good. Very good. So, shall we all be upstanding? This is our anthem.
You have built nations of men. One, sing. You have built nations of men. You made great men of them. Generations of scholars salute you. Black and gray acknowledge you. A lifetime of feeding in thought, in words and deed. Esequan videri, esequan videri, esequan videri, true to the Spirit's will. Grasp the substance, leave the shadow, then onward to the truth. Esequan videri are great, family. Esekwan wideri, esekwan wideri, esekwan wideri. True to the spirit we live. Grabs the substance, leave the shadows, and onward to the truth. Esekwan wideri, a great family.
Please be seated. Be seated. Thank you very much. Before the headmaster's welcome address, I want to introduce some of the dignitaries. I say some of them because some of them will need special introduction on the stage. Mr. Nate has already been introduced. We have, well, it looks like all of them will have to be given special introduction, but there are some among you. I've seen Mr. Bleoobi, Quaye. He is Bello 97, and he is the driving force behind this program. Give him a big round of applause. He is an executive member of the Old Boys Association, and I tell you what he can do, you cannot imagine. We will wait to see. We also have Mr. Emmanuel Kusi, Bello 96, also an executive member of the Old Boys Association. Right. We have Mr. Eddie Lawson, Bello 84. He is the PRO of the Old Boys Association. The PRO. And he has just reminded me that he'll be handling the microphone with me. So once a while, we'll change positions and I will take. I am near Ashon Bello 75 and I am the secretary of the Old Boys Association. Now, we have Mr. Say here who is standing in for the headmaster. So he's going to give us the welcome address on behalf of the headmaster. Mr. Eric Say, Assistant Head Academic.
Thank you very much. The headmaster had to move out on an emergency, and I've been instructed to step in briefly. Now, there is an important reason for our gathering, why you have left the classroom and you are here at this time. This is a very important program. You have sometimes wondered why a school that is as old as what? Accra Academy. You still have old boys being passionate about their school. You've seen the major contributions from the old boys just to ensure that you are very comfortable in the school, to ensure that the high standards that they set when they were here you would use them as an example and also strive to even achieve better. This, I repeat, is a very important program. And as you are here, I expect you to pay attention, because the organizers of this program have had to leave the comfort of their offices. They have had to leave the comfort of their homes just to make sure that at the end of the day, you are giving, or you are psyched to know the purpose for which you will become a Bleoobi like them in the future. We welcome them. We are very grateful for this program. And the boys, as you can see, have very high expectations. At the end of the day, we know that ultimately, when they eventually leave Accra Academy, the spirit that guides the Bleoobi will be with them, and it will move them to even achieve better for their school. You are all welcome to this program, and thank you very much.
Thank you, the headmaster, whose role has been played ably by Mr. Eric Say. Now, let me take advantage of my coming to the podium again to introduce our chairman for this occasion. Our chairman is an old boy. He finished Accra. When we say you finished, those days when we were in the old system, we had the 5th formers and the 6th formers. And when we say you finished in 73, it means you finished your 5th form education at Accra Academy in 1973. Those days, then when you were successful, you continued to the 6th form. So those in the 6th form, to differentiate between the cream-shirted, we also have green-shirted boys. And those days, I tell you, they are very intimidating, more intimidating than the headmaster. So he finished Accra Academy in 1973. He was a head boy, and I was one of those who voted for him when he became our head boy. Then, when he finished the 6th form, he went to the States, that's what they call it, United States of America, to continue with his education there. He worked there in the foreign service, and I'm told in the military, but he doesn't want that to be mentioned. So you take it out of what I've said. At the moment, he's in Ghana, and he has decided to give his all to the Accra Academy. Let's welcome Bleoobi Emmanuel Bruce Atta, Bello 73.
Thank you, Ni. Thank you, Ni, for the kind words. Like he said, some of which you didn't hear. Mr. Acting Headmaster, fellow AAOBA executives and members, staff, and students, I am very delighted to be here this morning to chair this event. And I accept to be the chairman with pride. Pride because this orientation prior to today had been organized by year groups, notably Bello 84 and Bello 97. But this year, we, with collaboration with the school, are organizing it. So I'm very proud of that. Secondly, as opposed to one or two people coming here and telling you their stories, we are bringing you 6 Bleoobi experts, experts in their fields. Well, yes, 6 or 7, yes, to come and. And finally, I'm proud of this because for the first time, this is being streamed worldwide. So let me say hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to Bleoobi in the diaspora, wherever they are. Hello. To you students, this is our way of welcoming you to the Bello family. You have made a good decision by choosing Accra Academy, and you will not regret it. This is a school of no regrets. Yes. Throughout your stay here, we will instill in you our tradition with a view to motivate, inspire, and challenge you to greater academic performance. We are establishing a bond with you, and we want you to feel and understand that you belong to a bigger family, bigger than your classmates. You have family members worldwide, wherever you go. So this is a badge that you should carry with you. Before I take my seat, let me tell the presenters, let me remind the presenters that we are in a tight time slot. We only have 10 minutes each, so we'll be very conscious of the time. So you guys just relax and enjoy the presentations. Thank you.
Accra. Accra. We're going to start straight with presentation by the facilitators. And the first on the slot is Bleoobi, Professor. Well, he doesn't want to be addressed as professor, though he is. Aya Kojo Armah, former head of Marine and Fisheries Science, the University of Ghana, Legon, and a member of Ghana's Marine Team dispute with Côte d'Ivoire, is well on the stage. He is the most senior Bleoobi. He finished in 1970. Atta, I welcome you to the podium to speak with your students.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Like he said, my name is Aya Kojo Armah. But when I was here, my name was George Aya Armah. And then I dropped the name George. Thank you very much. I really like your quietness. You are well behaved. I dropped the name George when I got to the university. And do you know why? You want to know? I'll tell you. I asked my mother, my father, why am I called George? He said, oh, your mother decided we should call you George. So I asked my mother, why am I called George? So when you were born, King George was then the king in England. So he decided to give the name George. And I said, oh no, I'm not from England. I'm not English. Look at my face. Beautiful flat nose. Beautiful thick lips. I don't look like an Englishman. So I dropped my name George, and I was born on a Monday, so I added Kojo to it. So I'll be pure and pure Ghanaian and African. So if you go to the website and look at the 19th century group, you will see George Armah. It's the same person speaking to you today as Aya Kojo Armah. Okay. So I got here in 1970 from Saito. You know what Saito means? Good. I started school in Jamestown, very close to where this school was founded. And that place, the school was called Siki Siki. That was a nickname. I was a young boy who had come from Kumasi could not speak Ga, although my father was Ga and my mother was Fanti. I could speak only Twi. So I got to Accra to learn the Ga. So they sent to this school at Jamestown. Do you know where the Methodist Cathedral is in Accra? A place called Palladium. We used to stay there. And close to that place was where our illustrious former founder, Hamado, also stayed. It was very close to the church. So we used to walk from that place to Jamestown, where the lighthouse is, where my primary school was. We walked every day. And at that time, there were no desks, okay, the school I attended. And the school was founded by a very prominent Ghana chief who is there now. It's called Dentist Cofie. Okay. And then the school was sad that we didn't have desks, we only had benches. So we have a long bench, and 6 of us would sit on it. And for a desk, we had a box, okay, like a milk carton. But it wasn't made of paper then, it was made of wood. So you go and buy an old container, and that becomes your desk. Start like in a row like that. And that's how we started. Anyway, moving forward, from there I moved to a school called Presbyterian Primary School at a place called Konuall, in the same area. Then from there I moved to another place, a school in Quaye, Bleoobi, called Bleoobi Sempe 1. Then it was a middle school. It's all Site 2 level, okay. And at that school, we used to write a common entrance that you also do to come to the secondary school. So I wrote a common entrance, and 2 of us passed from the school to come to Accra Academy. And at that time, I was home when the postmaster brought the admission letter to our house in Palladium. A postmaster came, house number D61/1, my name, and walked in and gave him my admission letter to Accra Academy. So I came here, and then I was one of the, well, I didn't get any prize, so I wasn't the best in the class. The best in class were Ms. Robinson, Patrick Tete, they were collecting all the prizes, okay? And Major Gina didn't cry and the rest. But I had an ambition, okay? What I'm saying, you don't have to be the first, you don't have to have a prize before you reach where I've gotten to. Okay? Good. So I came to from 1C. That small place there, it used to be from 1C and B and A. And then I was one of the smallest in that class. So they moved into 1A and were graded by sizes, okay? And there were bigger boys in the class who could bully the smaller ones. And I can see different sizes here, okay? I can see some as small as I was, and then some as big as the bullies in the class. Yeah, I can see some of you look like me. Get up. Yeah. Yeah, I was like very small like him. What's your name? Quentin. Okay, Quentin, what do you want to be when you finish school in the future? What do you want to do? You want to be what? A doctor, medical doctor. Great. I also wanted to be a medical doctor. That was my dream. So I ended up being a science student. But unfortunately, at that time, only 2 of us made it to medical school. 2 of us, the group made it to medical school. The rest could not. So I had to look for a different option. So I went to university, all right, and then I enrolled, became a zoologist. You know what a zoology is? Someone who learns about animals. So I went to a department for zoology. In that department, there was a division for marine biology. So I said, oh, well, I grew up knowing the sea very well, so I wanted to do marine biology. So I became a marine biologist. So moving forward, that was in 1976. I happened to be the best in my graduating class of 20. Now, the interesting thing is that I wasn't the best in terms of those who went to the class with their A levels. Some had B's, some had C's. I wasn't the best. But when it came to breasting the tape, I was the best. It means I made the maximum use of the opportunity I had in the university to make up for the lapses I didn't have when I was growing up. But before then, let me tell you an interesting story. Why this school is such a great school. I was a day student. And Mr. Hamado used to give us ride to school every morning. Because it was very close to where I stayed. Until I got to Form 3, then all of a sudden, the headmaster came, A.K. Konuall, mentioned our names, about 6 of us. He said, come to my office. We didn't know what we've done. We're scared, little boys. He said, well, we have letters for you. We got scholarships. I didn't talk to anybody. Just from mere performance, they just gave 6 of us scholarships. So we moved from day student to become boarders. So I was admitted in Bleoobi Hall. It's now changed. It's now called Alema Hall. It's called Bleoobi Hall. So I was in Bleoobi Hall. No, it's Awulite here now, yeah. So I was in Bleoobi Hall from Form 3, Form 4 to Form 5 when we did the O levels, then came back and did the 6th form until I became the hall prefect in Bleoobi Hall in 1972. Moving forward, from there, then I moved on to the university. But the interesting thing about this school is that there was no connection. I had a scholarship. We didn't have to talk to anybody. My headmasters gave us scholarships, and we moved on. And all those who were then those who made scholarships all made it to universities. So I went to university, became a marine biologist. So I knew how to swim a little bit before, because I grew up, like I told you, around Jamestown. So we were going to the beach to swim without the knowledge of our parents. And some of you, I'm sure, have been doing that, playing football without telling your parents. And when you come out, you pretend you haven't been anywhere. So we go and how to swim, and I learned how to swim on my own. So I was very, very comfortable with the sea, extremely comfortable with the sea. So I went to university, and I was the best in the graduating class. So it's where they make me a teaching assistant, so I stayed on. Then they gave me a university scholarship to do a master's, and I did, and I majored in marine biology. And I learned how to do scuba diving. You know scuba diving? You put cylinders on your back with air in it, you put mask and scuba, and then you go down the water. So we could go off the water with my professor, an American, Tema Harbor, breakwater, and we stay on the water 30 minutes, 15 minutes, doing underground diving, underwater diving. Moving forward from there, okay, thank you. I was enrolled as a lecturer. Then I moved on to study a bit more in the UK. Now, my main reason why I opted to come and speak with you and share a little bit of my history is to let you know that the sky is the limit. It's for by dint of hard work. Now, let me leave you with a maxim before I leave. That hard work never kills anybody. You never hear of anybody who's been told that he studied so hard that he died. No. I'm not saying you shouldn't play. Have a little play, but be really, really focused. Okay? Be really, really focused. And then, if you are focused and you work hard, you get a place higher than I am. When they introduced me, they said I was a member of the team that worked with the Ghana Cote d'Ivoire maritime boundary dispute. Yes, I was the only oceanographer who was on the team. I was the only oceanographer who knew about the marine science, about the offshore, everything. And when it came to the crunch, and we were in Hamburg with the lawyers, and the Cote d'Ivoire lawyers will say one thing, and the next day we have to come up with something different. And we have to use the knowledge you have to make sure that we got that part of the sea back to Ghana. Now, I wasn't the only Bleoobi on it. There was another younger Bleoobi who is a lawyer, who is also on the legal team. I was on the technical side. Okay. So here you are today. Somebody wanted to be a doctor, someone wants to be an engineer, someone wants to be a lawyer. It is possible. It all depends on how you psych yourself up and tell yourself that I will get there. If I can't become a lawyer, I will become a banker. If I don't get the banking, I will move on to become what? Something else. Never stop. Never give up. Move on. You all can be in the medical school, those in the science classes. That's your wish. But if you don't get it, don't pity yourself. What is the next step? What will come? You will take it and excel to the highest level. Say, I will excel to the highest level. Louder. And I will make Accra Academy proud. And I will make my sisters and brothers proud. And I will make my country proud. I thank you very much. I'm still in the university at my age. I've got gray hair, but I'm still young. Anytime any one of you wants some advice, we'll leave our numbers here. Feel free to call or send an email. Thank you very much for your attention. Bye-bye.
Accra, Accra, Accra. You see, I'm not one of the speakers, but I'll tell you this. I was at a function. One of the deputy commissioners of electoral commissioners happens to be an old boy, and he was my mate. He celebrated his 62nd birthday on Monday. I was there, and there was this young man who is a pre-second, Legon pre-second. And then when he heard that we are from Accra Academy, he said, "Oh, but Accra Academy, you can't match us in everything." I said, "Oh no, you are a young man, you don't know." But we blazed the trail. You know what that means? So no, it means that we always lead whatever needs to be done. We lead it. So then he mentioned the current Speaker of Parliament, that they have Michael Quaye. I said, "Oh, you have only Michael Quaye. We have 3. That is Accra Academy for you." We contribute in every sphere of life. Because we had a DF and we had Peter Lajete, and the one who handed over to Michael Quaye, Do Ajao, they are all Bleoobi. Accra. The next speaker is Moses Cofie. He finished in 83. He's a trainer, a coach, and a mentor. Shall we welcome Mr. Bleoobi Moses Cofie to the podium?
Thank you. Accra. I'll be using the slides at the screen here, so I'd like to get down. Accra. Right. It's a privilege for me to be here with you. Like was mentioned, my name is Moses Cofie. I came to Accra Academy in 1983. That's many years ago. Sorry, I finished in 1983, and that was Form 5. And then I went on to finish my sixth form in 87. Now, you guys are embarking on a certain journey, okay? And I want to congratulate all of you for making it to the senior high school, and especially to Accra Academy. Give yourselves a hand. When I came to Accra Academy, I came here in 78. That made me finish Form 5 in 83. I was very privileged to be, at our time we wrote the common entrance. the equivalent of what you are writing today as what? BECE. And I was very privileged to top the common entrance for my school. Not just for my school, but for Greater Accra. And not just for Greater Accra, but for the whole Ghana. Now, that puts a lot of pressure on me, okay? Because you needed to demonstrate that you were indeed that, if you like, smart. At the end of the day, I'm happy I was a Bleoobi. I moved on to go to the university. I read economics as a first degree. And again, I was very privileged to work with Unilever Ghana. At the time, it was one of the best employers in the country. And to a very large extent, I have been shaped and modeled by the institutions that I came through. One being Accra Academy, where I was for 7 good years. Now, in this journey, you are going to be meeting many people. But you must remember that you came here as an individual. And I'll open yourself to be guided. And that is why we are here today, to find a way of guiding you so that your journey would be smooth. And so that you would have what it takes to run through this journey. It's not going to be an easy journey, but you can all make it. This morning, I want to use the opportunity to just highlight 3 points. Now, 3 points because I have only 10 minutes. And I want to share 3 main points with you so that I make maximum use of that time. And the 3 points I want to share with you, the first one is about discipline. When you come into a school like this, the time you wake up in the morning for the boarders is given. You don't have a choice. Whether you like it or not, you have to wake up, isn't it? Now, the time to go to the dining hall is given. When it's time to go to the dining hall, you have to go. You don't have a choice. So you are going to be led and directed here not on your own terms, but on the terms of the school. And for you to be able to fit and make the most of it, you have to be a disciplined person. Right. Now, so the first thing I want to talk to you about is discipline. And because it's about you, I've tried to qualify it by saying self-discipline. The second thing I'll talk about is learn to be a team player. And then finally, have fun. Make sure you have fun. I'll explain that. Now, about self-discipline. I learned about a definition for discipline which has stuck in my head after many years. Who can tell me, one person who can volunteer to tell me what discipline means? Quick one. One person. Anybody? Any volunteer? Yes. Go on. Doing the right thing at the right time. In fact, for that, have this. Now, let me tell you the definition that I saw. This is the definition. Shall we all read it together? Doing what you have to do, when you have to do it, whether you feel like it or not. Now, this is a quote by somebody, and it has stuck with me, because for me, it actually explains discipline. Doing what you have to do, when you have to do it, whether you feel like it or not. And then also, in order for you to remember the importance of discipline, there's another quote that says that life is what? Tons of discipline. Let's watch this 1-minute video to drive home the point. Ready? Can I go?
Every morning in SEAL training, my instructors, who at the time were all Vietnam veterans, would show up in my barracks room, and the first thing they'd do was inspect my bed. If you did it right, the corners would be square, the covers would be pulled tight, the pillow centered just under the headboard, and the extra blanket folded neatly at the foot of the rack. It was a simple task, mundane at best, but every morning we were required to make our bed to perfection. It seemed a little ridiculous at the time, particularly in light of the fact that we were aspiring to be real warriors, tough, battle-hardened SEALs. But the wisdom of this simple act has been proven to me many times over. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. So if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed.
Right. Can I see by hands here those who are boarders? Boarders. Is this familiar? Every morning you have to do this bed. You don't have a choice, okay? Now let this remind you of the importance of what? Self-discipline. Now the next thing I'd like to talk about is be a team player. Although you are here as an individual, you realize very quickly that there are many things you cannot do by yourself. You'd have to do with other people. Okay? If you are part of the soccer team, you realize you don't play soccer alone. If you are part of the choir, you don't do it alone. Even in class, there are people who are smarter and sharper in mathematics, whilst you are good in physics. And you realize that you need collaboration in order to improve your studies. Don't be a loner and walk through this life alone. Be a team player. And on that, I want you to leave this quote with you. It says teamwork. Can we read it together if you can see? Teamwork is what? Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. That is what teamwork is about. Now, the acronym TEAM stands for something. Who knows that? TEAM, team. Team. Who can tell me so that I get 2 pieces of chocolate? All right. It means together, yes, you know it. Together, everyone achieves more. That's about teamwork. And I'll go to my last point. And the last point I said was going to be what? Have fun. So remember to have fun. School is a serious business. But look, if there's some of the best times I've had in life were the 7 years that I spent on this campus. I had fun. I had fun with friends. I had fun with teachers. I had fun in the various organizations that I belonged to. I was disciplined, yet I had fun. At a point in time, I was the president of the outreach club. I was the president of the drama club. I was the chief choir instructor. Okay? I was the chapel prefect. So coming here is like coming home because this was my domain. And I did so many things, but I did it with people. I worked together with people to what? To do it. And then we had fun doing it. And in order for you to remember these 3 things, I want us together to rise up so that we're going to have fun together for a minute. That will make you remember that it's important to have fun. Shall we? Let's get onto your feet. Quiet, 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 quiet. My time is almost up, so let's do this very quickly. Now, watch this video and follow the instructions, okay? It's a simple dance tutorial, but I want to leave it with you. Sound, please, sound.
How to do the Cupid Shuffle, the dance craze that has swept the nation.
You follow him.
Enough chit chat. It's time to dance.
Mo Chocolate.
Now, the first part of the dance is that you have to move left and right 4 times, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is that easy?
1, 2, 3, 4, clap. And that's
right.
it. It's that simple. Now let's try that again, but with energy. 5, 6, 7, and
Let's go.
1, 2,
Let's go.
3, 4, clap. 1, 2, 3, 4, clap. And that's it.
All
now
right,
the second
hold on.
part of the dance is we have to kick the legs out 4 times. And it doesn't even matter which leg you use. All it matters is that you kick the legs out 4 times. Like this. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3. Shuffle, 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 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you do a whole dance on this side. And that's a whole dance, everybody. That's a whole dance. So now let's do the entire dance with music. Come from.
All right,
so
now
much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy.
let's take our seats. All right, shall we have some quiet? Shall we have some quiet? Okay. So what are the 3 things we have learned this morning? The first one is what? The second one is? And the third one is? Wow. Now give yourselves 3 wows. Wow, 1. Wow. The second one. Then the third one, a big one. Wonderful. Right. Now, so I am done. We will not have time for questions. As I take my seat, there is a certain leadership training program run for youth in summer during the long vacation. 2 weeks residential camp for leadership training for youth aged 13 to 19. I would like you to just take note of it, bear that in mind. And if you want to be trained into a leader, okay, things that you are not taught in the classroom, make sure you attend this program. Hit it. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Naughty, a member of the board. So I would like us to acknowledge Madam Paulina Naughty. I will also like us to acknowledge Madam Dede Boni. Bleoobi, you should be clapping with a lot of energy because thank you. Because you can see that Indomie is present here and they are preparing something very nice for you. So don't worry about how much energy you lose. Just enjoy yourselves. We also have to acknowledge Coca-Cola, who are going to provide you with some refreshments. We really appreciate their efforts. At this point, I would like to introduce a senior of mine. In our days, we used to call him Vides, right? You all know Oforie ceremonial grounds. In our time, he had an idea that he will carpet grass the whole place. So in the end, we named the park after him. So when we were in school, Oforie Memorial Park was called Vides Park. It was named after the then grounds prefect, who will be our next speaker. So let's give an applause for Senior Bleoobi Fred Quaye of Year Group 1979. He is the CEO of Ultimate Strategic Information Systems. Senior, you are welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm highly delighted to be here. I'm highly delighted to be here. Hello? Hi. Can you hear me? Right. I said I'm highly delighted to be here. I came to this school from Radiant Way Preparatory School, one of the old good schools in the 70s. That's way back 74. But for your information, the first speaker, where he stayed was the very place I stayed, at Jamestown, around Palladium Cinema. There is a nursery, they call it Palladium Day Care Center. That's where I schooled, somewhere in the 60s. And I journeyed to Radiant Way School. Then from there, I was admitted to this school in 1974. When I got here, I was the 28th on the list of students who were admitted here. Right? Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah, so when I got here, I was the 28th, according to the list of 144. By the second year in the school, I placed 7th. So the best of the school, I was the 7th, and I was duly rewarded. That's way back 76. And I have that book up to today. Then from there, I did science. Right? I read science. Then I moved on. I started for the O-level in 79. Then I came to the 6th form. From there, I proceeded to the University of Ghana, and I read computer science and statistics. And I did my master's in information systems, master's in business administration, information systems. But while I was here, I was a grounds prefect. And I just did so well that the school had no option, and I was really commended and rewarded for that. My 2 points that I want to put across here are: 1, time management. When I got here, I heard the speaker talking about time. Time is everything. If you miss it, you've missed everything in the future. So I'll make mention of 2 or 3 other important idiomatic expressions in time. But prior to that, I was a teacher. I taught in Wesley Grammar School in 1983. I was a maths teacher in Wesley Grammar School in 1983. And from there, I moved on to Bremen and Sukuma Secondary School in the Central Region as a maths teacher in 1987. From there, I was employed at then P&T, now what we call Vodafone. I was in charge of systems. I was in charge of the IDD, you call it International Direct Dialing Systems. By then, there was nothing like what you call the smartphone and all these things. That was the highest form of communication that you can think of. And I was in charge. And to have an IDD in your house meant you were a very rich person. So in those days, those with IDD were highly respected. Now everybody is owning a mobile phone. So common that we've forgotten the past. But that was how it was in those days. Then from there, I moved on to KPMG, one of the biggest financial institutions in the world. I was in charge of a number of projects in Ghana, outside, and all over the world. And we handled so many World Bank projects. From there, I had an attachment at ABN AMRO Bank. That's the biggest bank, sixth biggest bank in the world. It's based in the Netherlands, where I was schooled in mortgages and other related financial products. When I came back, I was tasked to develop a number of systems for the new banks, like EcoBank. I handled EcoBank, I handled Commercial Bank, I handled SNICS, and a lot of financial institutions. About 25 years ago, currently, as the CEO of USIS, that's the company, we are in charge of a number of new banks like Exim Bank, ADB Bank, Prudential Bank, Car Bank, and you name them. I'm handling all these banks. So I give them advice and they listen, all because of what I learned here. So I have there advising these big institutions. Every now and then you get a call. They want their next move, what they do, and then you give them the advice. All because of the little things we got from here. But the first thing I want to stress on is time management. If you joke with it, you joke with yourself for the rest of your life. One, there is a very popular saying that time and tide waits for no one. So whilst you are here, manage your time judiciously. If you miss it, that is the end. Then about the exams, you are going to write WASI, I believe so. Are you going to write WASI? I don't know what you are going to write now. Right. You better get 8 A's. There is no compromise on that. I'm warning you from here. If you don't get 8 A's, forget it. Because if you go with 7 A's or something, we now have a pyramid. When you got here, about 800,000 people wrote the exams. About 400,000 was selected out of that number. So 500,000 people were kicked off. Now we are going to a university. We now talk about the Ivy League. If I say the Ivy League, there are 3 top universities in Ghana. The rest, you can name them anything. The University of Ghana, the NUST, then Cape Coast University. The rest are also there. But from Accra Academy, you should be aiming at these 3. How many? Can you name them? The University of Ghana. I hope you know the University of Ghana. Then NUS, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Then Cape Coast University. The rest are also there. But a product from Accra Academy, that should be your aim. Don't go and choose this one that when you can't stand the race, then you just go there. But from Accra Academy, this should be your aim. Right? I hope it's clear. And you can't get 8 A's if you come here and you don't plan. Do you have timetables? You should plan your timetables so that you spread out the subjects and cover all subjects properly. Time management is very critical. Unfortunately for you, things are changing so fast in the world. I hope you are aware that things are changing very fast. That whatever you are learning now, in about 2 years' time, it will become irrelevant. Are you aware of that? When we were in the university, some people were doing all sorts of courses. Now, if you come out, you don't get employment. I hope you are aware that somewhere along the line, about 2 weeks ago, there was a recruitment for immigration service. And 84,000 people applied. I hope you are aware. How many positions were they looking for? 500. So just imagine. By your time, it will be 2 million for 500. Are you getting me? Now it's 84,000 for 500. By the time you finish, about 15 years' time, it will be 2 million people applying for 500 positions. So you have to wise up and reposition yourself and know that the future is not easy because things are changing by and large. One other thing you need to know is that we are moving into robotics. I hope you heard of robotics. Have you heard of robotics? Then artificial intelligence, right? Then 3D, these are the future. These are the three things you should take for the future. If you don't have this, forget it. Are you getting me? It's robotics, artificial intelligence, and 3D. 3D is a printing process. Now, if I get up, if I want my shoes, I need not go to Accra. I'll sit in my house and print my shoes. Is it possible? But that's where the world is going to. So all that you are learning, I'm afraid to say, in about 5 years' time, you have to reposition yourself for these three things. That's artificial intelligence, robotics, and what? 3D is a printing device. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
This shows that you are time conscious. Good.
Senior David Quaye, we thank you so much. Now, I have the honor of acknowledging a very senior Bleoobi in the house. I want us all to stand up and give an applause for the most senior Bleoobi in the house today. He goes by the name Mr. Fred White. He left this school in 1966. Mr. White, we acknowledge you. We want to see you. Mr. White is Bello 1966. Thank you. Take your seats. Now, who knows who the captain for the national soccer team is? Asamoah. We have a Bleoobi in our midst who makes sure that his affairs are well managed, and then he is able to concentrate in doing the wonderful things he does for the country on the football field. That person goes by the name of Bleoobi Samuel Anim Addo. He is Bello 94, and he is the former president of GIMPA. He is also the CEO of BabyJet Promotions. So we have the captain of the national football team, also a Bleoobi manager in our midst. Senior, we welcome you. Thank you.
Wow. Such a honor. Today is going to go into history as one of the most important days of my life. As the MC introduced me, he mentioned my name, and I felt something. I was so touched, and I still feel it in my hands. When I came to this school, it was the time that we have our headmaster, V.B. Freeman. Some of you have heard of him, how strong he is, his disciplinary record, and the fact that sometimes, some of us, if you don't take care, you collapse. If you see Freeman. And look at me. That stubborn boy. And don't be that stubborn. That boy who will come to school sometimes late. Because I couldn't get a boarding school. And Freeman caught me here. Only God knows what happened to me. So I'm using this experience to tell you that in whatever you do, with my small speech that I'm going to give to you or lecture, please write some of the points down, because it's something that I want you to always use to remember yourself, to remind yourself, to remind yourself that you can get to this level and come and stand right in front of your colleagues, your younger colleagues, or you can even be bigger than all of us here. You can achieve greater things, but you need to, you see our speakers, some of them told you about discipline, some of them told you about time management, some of them told you about respect, and the fact that you should even enjoy what you are doing. I'm also going to touch on the fact that you should be 100% committed. Your commitment level should be 100% in whatever you want to do. What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? You've been dreaming about it. Do you dream about what you want to be? Do you dream about it? Wow. Then we are going to have great Bleoobies in the next 10 years to come. Why am I saying this? If you dream about what you want to be, it becomes everything about your life. You have to live that dream. Live the dream. How do you live the dream? Whenever you wake up in the morning, everything that you do you want to be a doctor? Our brother said he wanted to be a doctor. He wants to be a doctor. The lawyer for Samoa Jan, Council Kisia Jabin Esquire, he is also like him. Some of you don't know who he is now, but our elders here know. Kisia Jabin Esquire will be called among the best lawyers in this country now. But Kisia Jabin was like our brother. Please wake up again. Today you will be the best example in the. Look at him. Kisia Jabin was also the same. Yes. Kisia Jabin was the same as this brother of ours. Now Kisia Jabin is the. If they won't call 10 lawyers in this country and they will never mention Kisia Jabin. How did he do it? He lived a dream. He was committed to what he wanted to do. Kisia Jabin at this age was talking to lawyers and asking them about what lawyers do. He went on to become the best student in Legon, went on to come Konuall. Some of you should go Konuall in the USA, Canada. You will see what I'm talking about. He was best student, best student, best student. It tells you that whatever you live, whatever you believe in, your commitment level, how you make sure you do everything, you eat it, you drink it, you sleep it. If you do that, my brothers, you will be a proud Bleoobi come the next few years. The next topic is that, and that's my main topic for you. You have to challenge yourself to attain greater heights. Say, I will challenge myself to attain greater heights. I will challenge myself to attain greater heights. I will challenge myself to be the best, not just amongst the people. How will you challenge yourself? There are some things that you need to do to challenge yourself. I'll bring another practical example, and guess who I'm bringing? Captain Dr. Nana Asamoah Gyan. Why am I bringing him as the example? Asamoah Gyan, how many of you would like to be a footballer, a sportsman? Hey. Then I'm in trouble. I have a lot of work to do. It means that very soon, Accra. It means that very soon, I'll be getting calls from some of you because one of my points will come here. And then it will tell you that some of you can call me. If you want to be a footballer, if you want to be a sportsman, if you want to be a musician, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be, what else? A carpenter, you want to be an architect, you want to be an engineer, you need to challenge yourself first. Please get this point well. It is very important. If you dare not challenge yourself, please, you cannot get there. Like we've been saying, most of us want to get the A's and go to the university straight and be the ones who get the A's and A's. Yes, it's true. If you get the A's and you get to the university, you'll be there. But I'm telling you, if you don't challenge yourself, you can get your A's and you will not be among the best lawyers in Ghana. You will not be among the best doctors in Ghana. Are you listening to me well? You need to do the extra thing. You need to challenge yourself. How will you challenge yourself? Pick one of the best people in town. One of the best footballers. Like I told you, we're using Asamoah. What did he do? Do you know Asamoah qualified to Accra Academy on merit? Because he wasn't joking with his school. He wasn't joking with his books. So you need to learn, and it will open up your mind. As you keep learning, your mind will be open and you can start researching and learning about one of the things you want to do. You can now say that I want to be a footballer. Then what should I do? I need to train extra hard. I wouldn't wait for PE master to call us here and say that we should go and do training. No. You understand me? You won't wait for a PE master to say, let's go to training before you train. You give yourselves a training program because you've been able to learn. You've opened your mind. You understand life. You understand things that you need to do. You wake up early. You do more running. You run every day. And you should do it by improving each and every day. Don't do it and be at where you are. No. You yourself will check your time and see that today I was running 2 kilometers in 15 minutes. I have to reduce it. I should do 2 kilometers in 10 minutes. So you are improving. Are you not using your brain? Because you did what? Because you learned. So you are able to use your brain to do what you want to do. So the first thing is make sure you open your mind by learning. Taking your school serious, taking the education serious. Then, if you want to be a footballer, you challenge yourself. If you want to be a musician, you challenge yourself. Abi Ashon is here. Our boss. He's my boss. He was here when I was in school. He's a legend in this school, yes. If you want to be a footballer, go and see him. Your PE master is also there. Go and see him. When you challenge yourself, they will tell you that do these extra things. If you do those extra things, you now go to where they play football to the highest level and tell them you are among the best. You can play. There are so many footballers who walked to the pitch and went to play and they made it. Some of you are talking about Neymar. Neymar, when he was a kid, he just walked. I can play. But if you don't do those basics, if you don't start from that level, you can't make it. To end it all, I'll say, like I told you, I'll tell you the one point that will come back to me. You need to consult the experts. Consult the what? Consult the what? You want to be a lawyer. You want to be a doctor. Who do you want to be? There are people around. Your teachers are there. Go and tell them that I want to be this, sir. Who should I be going for guidance? Who should guide me? When you go and consult those people will also give you the tutorials on the steps for you to do what? Take. So on this note, I'll end here by telling you that in all of those things that I've mentioned and the points that I've mentioned, you need to back it with prayer. If you are not prayerful, if you don't have God in your life, you need to pray and ask for the Almighty God to guide you. It helps you and you will always be focused on what you want to do. But if you go and this modern day of life where it's all about social media and reading about things that will not improve your life, you'll be there. We've seen a lot of mates who, when they see us now, they hide because they were living some lives that they thought they were the best. Don't go into any life that will change your vision. Go into what you believe in. Dream it, challenge yourself, and consult the experts and back it with prayer. Thank you very much. Accra. Accra. Accra.
Hello. Accra. Accra. This is an announcement. A student known as Bleoobi should proceed to the headmaster's office immediately. A student called Bleoobi. If you are known as Bleoobi, I don't know the first name, so anybody by surname Bleoobi should go to the headmaster's office. When you get there, the right Bleoobi will be selected from among the Bleoobis. All right? Yes, I just want to say this. Because of what the last speaker said, there is a philosophical definition of profession. And that philosophical definition is that if you want to be a scientist, do what the scientists do. So if you are a scientist, then you do what the scientists do. If you want to become a lawyer, do what lawyers do. If you want to become a doctor, do what doctors do. If you want to become a footballer, then do what footballers do. Thank you very much. I hand over to my...
So many nuggets of wisdom for you. When we came to Accra Academy, we didn't get the privilege to have such old boys come and motivate us. So I hope we are learning a lot from this. We will ponder over it and we will make a lot out of it. If you don't take anything out of here, at least as you get along with your academic work, remember those who have come here. They are here because of their love for you. Accra. Accra. I would also at this point like to acknowledge another sponsor, Tetia Park. They are also producing some fruit juices that are very nice, and they have donated some for your enjoyment today. So when you are shouting, you can respond Bello with a lot of energy, because there is something to fill you up after this. After this next speaker, we will have messages from Bleoobi, even in the diaspora, one from America and one from the United Kingdom. They are all very keen to share their experiences with you. I would also like to acknowledge a Bleoobi, Simon Untoyin, who is in charge of making sure that Bleoobi in the diaspora are witnesses to what is going on here. Please give him a better applause than that. Thank you. Our next speaker on the list is Bleoobi Haruna Bello of Bleoobi 99. He's the manager of Indomie. He's the marketing manager of Indomie, and he's the one ensuring that there will be a nice meal for you after this. Let's acknowledge him.
Accra. I know they feel the vim. Accra. Good. I used to remember Mr. Abiashon. I know he would remember, but he used to teach us science. He was one of the teachers we used to, fear a lot. He was a no-nonsense teacher, actually. Good. I must say today is one of the, I think today is the proudest day for me to share this stage with all these people and then with you guys. We never had something like this. We just came to school, we just started. We never had people to guide us or advise us on what to do. So I would want you guys to, clap for organizers for doing this thing. Come on. Quiet, please. Quiet. Good. So I also remember when I came here in '97, I came from just a normal school. I didn't go to one of the best schools in Ghana. I actually didn't choose Accra Academy as my first choice, not because I didn't know about the school, actually. I come from a neighborhood where we had most of my friends wanted to go to schools in Cape Coast. But then for some reason, I was raised by a single parent, so that's my mom. She felt being the only boy, she wanted me to find myself in a school where I'll be actually hard. So I ended up at Accra Academy, and I must say, I never regretted. I'm going to touch, before that, let me tell you a little bit about myself. From Lincoln, I came to Accra Academy. After Accra Academy, I was into IT. I was at Kofi Annan Center of Excellence in ICT. I was at NIT. And then I was at University of Ghana, where I did psychology, even though I'm not practicing it now. But actually, I use some of the principles in what I'm doing in marketing now. I never went to a marketing school, but I'll tell you my story, how I ended up at Indomie. Good. So with my job, right after university, I found myself with an event management company where whilst working, I had to, do a lot of things, do extraordinary things to get opportunity to get to where I am. I'm going to touch on 4 points. Self-confidence, networking, mentorship, and then loving what you do. So with self-confidence, all I'm going to tell you is I learned a lot of self-confidence from Accra Academy. See, you come to Accra Academy, you step out, there's this pride you have. You go to Intercore or you go to any event outside. Yes, I'm a Bleoobi. There's this confidence that starts from here. Even if you don't know what you are about, that confidence alone gives you the drive or becomes a foundation for you to do whatever you want to do in your life. And wherever I am now, I use self-confidence to get to where I am. I didn't do marketing in school, but that I made sure that and self-confidence, I don't mean, excuse me, to say foolish self-confidence. Before you are very confident in something, meaning you need to learn. And this is where networking comes in. Most of my friends that I finished school with helped me a lot. When I say they helped me a lot, we still have platforms. We still have Accra 99 platforms where we still communicate and all that. Anytime I need a help, I start a new job or there's a task given to me. Maybe they say, okay, Mr. Bello, work out a business plan for this brand or for this. I see, okay, yeah, I have an idea, but then I need extra knowledge from people. I call out to my friends, people who are also in marketing or people who know people in marketing. They link me up to people. I talk to them. In the end, I'm able to come up with something good. You see, I've been in Indomie for 3 years now. No marketing certificate or a degree. I just did my psychology. The closest business course I did was when I came to do business in Accra Academy. And you know, our business courses were general courses, not something like marketing. You do marketing yourself, and you find yourself where I am now. So self-confidence, networking, all friends you make here, trust me, don't joke with the friendship you make here. Don't joke with it at all. You might be surprised how it's going to help you in future. Most of the things I have achieved in like now, most of them came through networking. Networking is everything. There are always statistics that will back this thing that most of the times people who get jobs, about 70% of them get them through referrals. That is networking. It's better for someone to work with someone who someone can recommend. Most of the job placements that comes out, most of them it's about 30% that comes out. About 70% of them is through networking. So don't joke with the friendship you make here, and make the right friends. Make the right friends. And with me, what I did was there was diversity in the friendship I made. I was friends with the hard guys, friends with the dull guys or the sharp guys. I was friends with everybody because every group you have, you learn something. You learn something. You can't be one way in this life. You need to learn something from somebody. Do you understand? So the networking is very, very, very important. Now let me talk about mentorship. When I mean mentorship, as in having something like a school father is very important. For me, I was fortunate to have three people who were my school fathers. I don't know why it was like that. But then in all of them, there was something I learned. There were three. There was one, he was like the chilling type, but at the same time, he was a hard guy. He was a Nigerian actually, but he was a student here, and he taught me a lot. he showed me a lot of things in town. Or he showed me, like, he made me become one of the men I am today. Because he's the one who tell you, okay, when you meet this person, approach the person this way. You meet a girl, approach the person this way, and all that. I learned so many things from him. Then there was one person who was like my academic mentor. He was like someone who would always threaten me, like, Bello, I think you're not learning. You need to start working with your books. Do you understand? He was always there for me, also trying to look out for me. He also played a very, very major role. Then I had one school father, actually was a very bad example. And if I had followed him, I'm not sure I would have finished this school. This same hall you see here, so many people were sacked. Here, they'll make an announcement here and sack so many people from school. He was one of the guys. Later, he was dealing in other, we are not here to talk about anybody, but then if I had followed him, I'm not sure I would have been where I am now. But then one thing I learned from him was that not to learn his way of life. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So get the right mentor. It's very, very, very important. Do you understand? Very, very important. Then the last thing I'm going to say is to love what you do. When I say love what you do, it's not only about academics. If it's business, love it. If it's accounting, you love it. If it's science, you love it. One thing I have noticed in this world is that when you're doing something and there's no passion and there's no love for it, trust me, you can't do it. Because you enjoyed it. Because learning is not easy. You know that, right? It's one of the most boring things. But then it's important. It's essential. You need it in your life. But if you don't love what you do, how would you get up and then go and pick your book to learn? Look at the science cast. You think I can chew and pour all those things? No. But if I don't have love for it, I wouldn't go to read it. So loving what you do is very important. And loving what is not, as I said, not only about academic way of life, but then here, when I was here, I really loved sports. I wasn't good in football, but trust me, I loved football a lot. I'll read, every time I was reading my graphic sports, then it was graphic sports and Africa sports. That was 97, 98. Now you can just Google. And then sports highlights. If you miss sports highlights, trust me, there's no YouTube. You're going to watch your team highlights from where? So we were always at Mr. Shapiro. I think he's no more here, so you guys don't know him. Oh, he's still around? Is Mr. Shapiro is still around? Good. That's where we used to watch our matches. You get me? And I also love that. And trust me, my first time I traveled out of this country, it was through sports. Because for my love for sports, obviously I knew my sports, so I could argue with anybody at anywhere. So that thing, a lot of people got to know that. And I started doing radio work. You understand? I was going to, they'll call me, I become an analyst. I'll do this panditry stuff and all that. Whilst doing all those things, it built up my communications. It built up my PR skills. Now, at my job now, I'm handling about 4 different tasks. Not because I'm superhuman, but then the experiences I got from here helped me to get all those things. If I was not loving sports, I was not going on radio, I will not be handling the PR job of my company. I'm the marketing manager for Indomie. But then they were supposed to have a PR person. But because I'm very good in articulating my points on radio and on TV, I'm doing all those roles. I was not supposed to do that. You get what I'm trying to say? Good. So, I know you guys are already bored. I wouldn't want to, stretch further. But then we are all once like you. I still remember I came, some smallish guy, you understand? Even when I got to Form 3, I still couldn't have a beard. Some friends will have beard, and then mine, Charlie, Sakura level, you understand? So, wherever you are now, you can get, look, we want you guys to be better than where we are in life. You're not supposed to get to where we are. You're supposed to be better than us. That is why we are granting you all. I'm a very busy person, but the moment I was told this thing, I was like, you know what? I'm going to put aside whatever I have to do and be here. Because to me, I think it's a proud day for me. And then a proud day for the organizers too. And I think they should keep doing this thing from year to year. One last thing I'm going to add. One last thing that I discovered on my own. When I was in Accra Academy, I realized one thing. My results were like an excellent results. You understand? But when I went to Legon, I realized that things were coming to me. It was quite easy. It was quite easy for me to grasp a lot of things. Then I realized, and the psychology I'm learning, I think it helped me a lot, because I realized that everybody, the way you get your information, the way you understand things is different from the other person. I realized that we have 3 types of thinkers. Please know this thing is very essential. Please know this thing is very essential. We have 3 types of thinkers. We have the word thinkers. We have the visual thinkers. Then we have the pattern thinkers. Let me just make it simple for you. So a word thinker is someone, it's very easy for that person to get information when the person just reads. So those people are able to do true and poor. True and poor is not for everybody. If it is not the best way of learning, but it can help you some way somehow. So most of the people who are word thinkers end up being poets, writers, journalists, and so forth. Those people who are visualized, that is why I belong to. I came to realize that, see, when you describe something and I visualize it in an image form, there is no way I would forget it. My grades weren't excellent here, but in Legon, I was an excellent student. That was when I realized, no, that is the way I get information. True and poor would not work for me. You need to know how best when you get information sticks in your head. It's very important. When you get to know that, trust me, it will be easy for you to do a lot of things. And the pattern thinkers are people who end up being mathematicians, logical reasoning people, programmers, and all that. Please get this thing at the back of your head. If you're trying something and it's not sticking, try the other one, and you end up. I had to do a lot of trial and error. I didn't get anybody to teach me this. I learned this at a later stage in my life, and I'm applying it now, and it's really working for me. So please take note of that. So I would like to end here and say thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Bleoobi Bello. We are coming gradually to the end of our program, and I'm sure we are enjoying it, and you are loving the advice you are getting. My advice is that you put it to use, so that 20 years after you leave here, you will also be able to turn up here and testify to what a wonderful school you've been in and impart it on the younger generation. At this point, we would be hearing from some Bleoobi in the diaspora, right? And we ask our sponsors, Exigency Ghana Limited, to put us in touch with a Bleoobi who is a chief strategist of Andicks Strategic Solutions. He is Bleoobi Prince Andoh, and he's based in the US. Simon.
Good morning, everyone.
To listen to the Bleoobi from the US, you would have to look to the screen, and you'll be getting your message from Prince Andoh of Bleoobi 88. He's the one in the white Atta. So Prince, if you can hear me, you have the floor.
Andoh, I came to academy in 1982, and I finished in 1988, as Senior Nadi mentioned. We all have a story, right? But I began actually, I changed and right behind Accra Academy in Bubuashi. So it was, if I could just tell the story very quickly, it was one afternoon. I wanted, and it was very hot, but when I entered the campus, I noticed all the trees that were dotted along the streets, and the big trees were forming a canopy over the street, and suddenly I felt the shade, right? And the shade gave me comfort from the beaming sun. And at that point, I felt so confident that I decided that was the best. So that's my story for getting to the point where I chose to be in Accra Academy. But then I had to go back and work on a permanent plan, as others have mentioned, so that I could actually get the score to make it to Accra Academy. I'm sure each of you have your own stories for why you're at Accra Academy. But I think one thing that I want to say is that everyone in that room, in this hall, has one thing in common. And that thing is that we are all privileged to be here. Okay, now, some of you may wonder, well, life is hard for me, so how can you say I'm privileged? Some of you may have to work a little harder than others. Some of you may have more than others. But you're still privileged in the sense that think of what goes on outside your sphere, right? In Ghana, I was looking at some statistics about 2 years ago. These numbers may have changed, but from P1 to P6, there are approximately 5.2 million students. Okay? Now, when you get to JHS 1, that number drops from 5.2 million to about 2 million students. This means that over 3 million students do not make it. Okay? And then when you leave JHS 1 and you get where you are today in SS 1, that number drops even further to 1 million students. So 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, we began with people that were a total of about 5.2 million, but today you are one of the few million, 1 million that made it here today. That means that nearly 16% of the entire country's population does not survive this journey. Okay? This is why I say you're privileged. So despite what the difficulties may be, or despite all the challenges you may be facing, you are very privileged. Okay. Today I'm coming from you today from the state of Virginia. Okay. And here, my wife and I operate an independent consulting firm where we provide strategic planning services to the US government in how they manage their finances and other activities. But the point is that the privilege you're experiencing today is a result of choices and sacrifices that others have made, whether it's your parent, whether it's your uncle, your cousin, your friend, or previous Bleoobii who've made certain sacrifices for you to be here. Now, all of those sacrifices mean that someday, at some point, others would demand such sacrifices from you. Okay? Today, what is happening in your life today is basically you're at a stage where, and if you ask your parents, they'll tell you the excitement that a parent feels when they first discover that their child can recite the letters of the alphabet from A to Z completely. It's a deep source of excitement and pride, okay? But at some point, you have to finish learning and reciting your letters of the alphabet. And then you have to begin to form words for those letters, right? And then you graduate from that and you begin to construct sentences, okay? And from sentences, you get to a place where you author the book of your own life, okay, with the choices that you make. All right, so what I would say is one of the difficulties that you are bound to encounter is procrastination. I mean, you've heard the previous Bleoobi all talk about the management of time and importance of it. Procrastination is a key element in how well you manage your time and the choices that you make. And often when we procrastinate, it's either because we're feeling lazy or we don't care, okay? And when we don't care, it's usually because we don't believe that the decision at hand has any real importance to us, or that we're not wise enough to recognize that. Okay, so as we go through all of that, you tend to see that everything comes down to the choices we make and the consequences that follow those choices. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, when we talk about laziness, I see laziness in two forms, okay? There is what I call physical laziness. Okay, that's when, okay, you have finished eating, you have to go and wash your plate or your bowl, but you don't make it. And so you wait until later to do it. That doesn't disrupt your life fundamentally, right? So that's physical laziness. It'll cost you some time eventually, but then you can overcome it. But then there is this other kind of laziness that is even more dangerous. That kind of laziness I like to call intellectual laziness, right? It's the kind of laziness where you know what is right to do, but you choose to not do it, right? So for example, if I know that I'm supposed to spend, someone mentioned your timetables, whether or not you've already drawn out your timetable for the term. Let's suppose that this particular time is the right time for, learning, whether it's mathematics or English or art, or you pick a course, a subject. But if I choose to go and play instead, or do something completely unrelated to the course instead, that is what I describe as intellectual laziness. You know that the consequence will be difficult to recover from, because if you get an F on your exam, then you will have placed yourself in a very difficult position. So, watch your procrastination, that's what I would say. Understand that, the choices you make will lead to direct consequences. But I will say this, some of you, most if not all of you, right, will probably feel overwhelmed from time to time, and the journey will be difficult. But I want to encourage you to never ever feel discouraged, okay? Because I truly believe that each of you has an angel assigned, okay, to you to take you to the finish line. Your part right now is to think of it as though you're running a relay race, okay? And in that relay race, you are holding the baton at a 100-meter mark. You are supposed to bring it all the way to the 300-meter mark, hand it to your angel, and that angel will take you to the finish line. But you have to first do your part, okay? Your parents feel a great deal of pride for where you are. They're probably having conversations about people. Sometimes we feel pressured to have to impress our parents and our teachers. But I will say to you that the number one thing that you need to be focused on is making yourself proud with the choices that you make, okay? If you make yourself proud, there is a high likelihood that others will be proud of you, all right? So here's what I'll say. Make choices that position you to be an angel to someone else. If you see a friend struggling with a particular subject and you think you can help them, help them. If you see a friend or a brother or a sister going in the wrong path, help them, okay? Your destiny is really in your hands, right, to shape. So I believe that each of you is going to make it, all right? You survived the numbers that I talked about. You're not one of the 18% who didn't make it to senior high school. So you've already accomplished quite a bit. So don't stop in the middle of the road, okay? Your journey is not over. And I will tell you that many of us are here and available to help you, okay? When I got the call asking whether I wanted to participate in this session, I said yes without hesitation. But then I was looking at the agenda and I noticed that it begins at 9 a.m. in Ghana, and I'm 5 hours behind you. So that would mean 4 a.m., which means I have to wake up at 3 or 3:30 to be ready for it. But this is the kind of, but I had to choose to do that because this is very important to me. I never had this between 1983 and 1988. So what I will leave you with is this. Never feel despair. I mean, there's always help, okay? People are out there to help you. Seek help. Don't be too shy or too timid, okay? And the other thing is you must always trust your instincts. That little voice in your head that tells you when you're veering off on the wrong path or when you're doing something that you shouldn't do. Trust your instincts, because it's always better to trust your instincts, okay? All right. And then the other thing that I'll say is, everyone comes in with a lot of expectations on your shoulders, right? Your parents expect you to be a certain way, your uncles, your aunties, even your friends expect certain things of you. But what is most important is what you want for yourself, okay? So please, 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 I encourage you to hang in there. Everything always works out in the end, and I really believe in you all. So I wish you all the success in the world, and if you need any help or anything that you think I could be of assistance with, just don't hesitate to email, text, or whatnot. My contact information is available. So thank you all very much. Accra, Accra.
Accra. Time is a bit spent, so without much ado, shall we go on now and introduce Bleoobi Anthony Hoffman-Addy. He will speak to us from the United Kingdom. He's the one in the back. So, Bleoobi Hoffman, you have the audience.
Accra. Thank you all for coming this morning, and you are all privileged to have this. I'm here and I've learned so much, and I'm even taking so much from the Bleoobi that have spoken earlier on. I thank you all. I can't even begin to describe how important it is to take advantage and exploit the facilities and resources offered by Accra Academy. To a certain extent, you could say learning at this school is learning to succeed and to define a field or an area to pursue at universities or other post-secondary institutions. As you soon discover, the knowledge to acquire is vast. It is to be found in the many different classes you are going to attend, in the piles of books accessible to you, in the labs that accompany most science subjects, and also with the interaction with your teachers and fellow students, and with many alumni and invited speakers. As much as all of this represents endless opportunities and endless series of combinations, it only points to your potential. Really, what is potential? Your potential is something that is not yet realized, something you can become by your determination and your perseverance. There are a lot of things that you can do and achieve in this school, but your achievement is to a large degree defined by yourselves. The curriculum is not unchallenging, the tests and the exams are not easy, and your teachers are not undemanding. It makes a certain sense that after all, we are a senior secondary school, preparing you for the tertiary education. So don't lean back in class and laze around. Set a good timetable, plan your studies and revision. Feed your hunger for knowledge by exploring the many resources around you and start to shape your future, and you live to grow. It's as simple as that. And yet so demanding, welcome to Accra Academy. Welcome to an academically inclined senior secondary school. Studying at Accra Academy is not like going to a school in the ordinary sense of that phrase. You are now enrolled in a senior secondary school, meaning you are no longer a pupil. You are students learning different things. Having the right attitude is also being inquisitive, curious, and interrogative, and self-reflective. So as students, you are expected to engage in long learning process during which you develop academic competencies in the various subjects you are taking. What is so special about success? Why can't I be second or third in anything I do? It's necessary to be successful always. I will say success gives you fame, and fame gives you a notable status. Now, what is the secret of success? If we all dig and explore the secret of success, there is only one mantra behind it: patience and perseverance. All great leaders have reached victory through constant perseverance. So I'm going to implore all of you to persevere. Famous scientists and sportsmen never gave up and stood with patience till they tasted victory. You are in Accra Academy to be victorious. It is rightly said that anything well begun is half done. Similarly, I can't deny that anything that is started with positive attitude is already done. So as you all enter your classes today, make a list of even the smallest ideas that will take you to the path of success. And I'm sure we are all here to guide you in the same way. Respect your parents, obey your teachers, and believe in yourself. I wish you all a grand and successful year. Once again, welcome to Accra Academy. Thank you. And I've got a little video that I want you to watch to motivate each and every one of you. We are where we are today because of how we listen to teachers, the likes of Mr. Abeashon, greetings to you, senior, the likes of VB Freeman, Coach Sapon, Mr. Bento, and many others. So watch this video, empower yourself, and be good. Thank you.
Yeah, I've made a video.
It's here. This, yeah, the video is. I'm just. Right.
My mom would be at all my sporting events. Let's say I was playing football, okay? My mother would be on the sidelines, and if the play on the field started going one way, my mother would run along like, Mark, get him, get him! I'd be like, oh my gosh. I'd get in the huddle with the other guys, they go, Mark. I go, no, I never saw her before in my life. It's the greatest gift my mother ever gave me. She believed in me. I have overdosed on drugs on 3 occasions where I should have been dead. But I believe I was kept here for a reason. You show me your friends, I will show you your future. How do I know this? I hung out with losers, and I became the biggest loser of them all because I gave up everything I dreamt about as a little boy because of who I chose to surround myself with. My friends would drive me home at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. We'd be drunk and high, laughing in the car. We'd pull up in front of my house in New York. They go, Mark, the light's on. I go, oh, man.
We thank Senior Hoffman-Addy for his presentation. Unfortunately, we have a technical issue with the video. So we will skip the video session for now, and we will do a question and answer session, right? We will take 4 questions from the students, right? This is an audience participation time, so make sure your questions are good, and you can channel it to anybody that you feel should address an issue you have. The floor is open. Any questions? Oh. You are Bleoobi. You should be brave like the lion. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask.
Mention your
name. I'm Lord Tekwakun Jr. and I'm in Atuan. I want to ask, through their journey in Accra Academy, did they ever feel down, and what did they tell themselves to get up? That's what I want to ask.
Yeah. His question is that during our days in Accra Academy, were there times when we were down? And when we were down, maybe not really feeling up to it, what was it that motivated us? It goes to any of us. So, okay.
Yeah. So,
can we have more hands? Who is next? Come closer.
Hello, please. I'm Afo Clifford of 1/5. I want to ask this question. Sometimes when you are in this school, some people have fun of because of the class and the course you do. So I have to ask this question. Is it the differences in the course or one is any course better than another? Thank you.
Very well. Next one.
Hello.
Okay, Kublenu Shalom, one science form. And I want to ask, sometimes when you are in school, they enforce some laws that bring down your morale. So I want to know some influences that make your morale rise to get to that limit that our fellow Bleoobies are getting to.
Okay, before the next question, let me rephrase.
Last question.
Last question. No, we should have 4 questions from you.
Last question.
Listen, when we were here, the whole school was your number. Now you are lucky just one class, one form. When we were here, the total number of students in this school was 700 cities. 700.
The second one, references records. References.
Hello. Hello. Accra.
Okay, so last question.
Please, last question.
No, we need to make up. Who wants to be on it?
Last question.
The mic is yours today. Who wants to be on it?
I am Anamoga Theophilus, and I want to ask if you have a passion to do something, maybe to play football, and your friends are against you, what should you do? I said if you have a passion to do something, maybe to play football, and your friends are against you, what should you do?
All right, thank you.
When you have the passion to do something and your friends are discouraging you, what do you do as an individual?
Okay. Hello. I'm going to answer for motivation. So, if your motivation is down, what I used to do was, I knew where I was coming from. You understand? Coming from a single parent. I lost my dad when I was very little. So my mom had to be the man and the woman. So if I'm in school, and so I feel like, nah, today I don't want to learn. I don't feel like learning. Then I remember where I'm coming from, like, wow, look at what this woman did for you. She had to suffer for you, to suffer to get you to school, and suffer and pay fees for you. Do you honestly think you can just sit down and not learn? That's what I used to motivate myself. So the moment I remember where I'm coming from or where I want to go, I just get up, pick my books, and go do whatever I want to do. So if your motivation is that, we all have different ways of motivation. What might motivate me is different from you. You just have to look at where you want to go. If you're feeling down, you don't feel to learn, or you don't feel like going to school, just look at where you're going, where you're coming from, and where you're going. Trust me, when you know where you're going, nobody would motivate you, okay?
Accra. Okay, the question number 2 is, are any courses better than others?
Hello? Hi. Hello? Yes. No course is better than the other. It's what you tend to use it in this challenging world. As I told you earlier on, the world is moving in an area where things are changing. It's very dynamic. The cars you see today, in about 5 years' time, you'll be talking about battery-driven cars. So all this you see will be put away. So the world is moving very fast. So you need to position yourself. You have to look at the challenges ahead. it's not the course that you are undertaking, but how you position yourself for the future, whereby you can take advantage and be at the best place, else you will be left out. That's my small piece of advice. Yes.
Okay. Now, when it comes to courses in the school, every program is very important. If you are doing or you are taking a visual arts program, you have no limitation. Yours is to study, do well, and it opens opportunities for you. You can decide to be a lawyer. You can decide to be an architect. Better opportunities. If it's a science program, you may be doing science today, but you might even end up as a lawyer. So, the program you have picked, yours is to be focused. The key things they've told you, just be focused, manage the time well, study. At the end of the day, better opportunities, because the better you do, the more opportunities that are opened for you. This time, there are even students who read general arts and end up doing medicine. Yes. Students who read general arts and end up doing what? Medicine. Because there are opportunities like that outside what? The country. So just keep your focus. Thank you very much.
Accra, I would just like to add quickly that the broader you are, the better. Don't specialize too early. Schools like Ashesi are doing excellent because they describe themselves as liberal arts school. They train you how to think, and you can do anything after that. Okay. Let's go to the next question. There are school rules that can affect who you want to become. Niabe. Or the student thinks it would affect their future. Maybe the questioner can be more specific. Yes, maybe the questioner.
Can we have the person who asked that question, whether there are rules in the school that can affect a student's future? Who asked that question? Yes, yes. Can you clarify it? Come forward and clarify it. What exactly you want?
Okay, I wasn't really talking about rules. The rules that affect not your future, but your morale. Like sometimes they say we shouldn't go to intercourse, to be specific. Maybe someone wants to be a socializer, like we want to make people together. So it's like
Yes. Well, thank you very much. What's your name again? What's the name? Shabaron. Shalom. Hey. Oh, Shalom. So it's already popular. Shalom, what do you want to become? What do you want to become, Shalom? What? Architect. Architect. Mathematician. Wow. Wow. Mathematician. Shalom. Shalom. You see, I'll use your case. I'll use this question to build something for you, and I hope you take it serious, and it's going to guide you to become who you want to become. You want to be a mathematician. Some of the extracurricular activities, there are rules that stops you from doing it. Is that not true? You want to be a mathematician. You can do statistics by doing some calculations, trying to get some friends who are also interested in something that you love. So after class, gather yourselves together. When you have your time, not the time that you are supposed to go to have learning or something. No, the extra time that you are not getting that time. There's SLC here, right? You have the SLC, right? You can call your leaders. All of you can come together and you plan. So you do statistics with it. You do calculations and tell your lecturer or your master who is in charge of those things. You go and give him figures. Oh, sir, we the students, we are this number. After school, this is what we do. We learn, we do this. After learning, we don't do anything. So at this time, we want to use that time to do this extra thing. Maybe you have another extracurricular activity you want to do. So the lecturer will see that, or the teacher will see that you are very serious. You are doing proper calculations and you are understanding time. You are using the time well and you want to use it effectively so that he will approve it to you. If you do that, he will approve it. But if you just say you want to go, I want to go out, that will never be approved. You need to prove it. The reason why you need to go out. If it's about intercore, you need to prove it, that the school has a culture. The school, in this number of years, in this number of intercore, the school did A, B, C, D. So, as they did that, the students were allowed to go and support them. So with that, you will be able to make a case and tell your teacher that no, if they don't allow you to go to the intercore, they are stopping you from enjoying what you need to have extra apart from study so that your mind will not be dull. Thank you very much.
Accra, our Bleoobi in the diaspora are still on the line. We want them to take the last question, which we have already taken. Sorry, we'll give you the opportunity next time. But we have already taken 4 questions, and they will respond to the questions online for us. I have Andoh and Hoffman. Yes. So, can we connect us to them? Please recap the question for us, the last question. Okay. When you have the passion to do something, should you be discouraged by what your friends say? Should you be discouraged from doing it when you have the passion to do it? We want Andoh and Hoffman to respond to these questions. To this question, sorry. Simon, connect us.
All right, thank you very much. So I believe it was Theophilus who asked that question, correct? So Theophilus, one of the things I mentioned earlier was that you must always believe and trust in your instincts, okay? So what I mean by that is you listen to that voice that is pushing or driving that passion that you have. And sometimes that resistance may come from people that are very, very close to you, like you're saying, your close friends. And sometimes it's even more difficult when the resistance is coming from, say, your parents who may be paying your fees and taking care of you and doing all those things. So in those things, I think you have to exhibit the kind of maturity, right, to patiently explain to them why you believe in what it is that you believe in. Okay, you can't just, I mean, it doesn't help when you just dismiss people's opposition or resistance. It's a good idea to take the time and explain to them what you get out of it and what you believe it could lead to, okay? So the first thing is, one, believe in your instincts. If it's something that really, strikes you passionately, then stick with it, commit yourself to it, and dedicate yourself to it. But always work with people and try to persuade them to your way of thinking about things. I hope that helps.
Thank you, Andoh. Andoh, thank you very much. Hoffman, your take on this issue.
Yeah, Accra.
Bleoobi.
Yeah, in addition to what my senior brother said, I'll use myself as an example. I didn't talk about myself when I was doing my presentation, but I started from Morning Star School. I started from Morning Star School before coming to Accra Academy. I had good results from Morning Star, and when I got to Accra Academy, I wanted to do visual arts. My dad was so upset. He wanted me to do science or business. But I had to explain to him, it's more about what I want. It's more about what I want to be in future. It's more about the things that I want to do. So I know he did banking, he did a lot, but it's about me. I did visual arts. I was good. I had the opportunity of coming to the UK, not through visual arts, but through the award scheme that I did. And I was in the same hall like you in 1997. Okay, and I had the chance of coming to the UK on an exchange program in 1999. Okay, that opened many doors for me. So I'm going to encourage all of you that as you are setting your step today, think of what you can become tomorrow. Take everything in life seriously. People may laugh at you at the things that you are doing, but it will take you to places. I'm going to encourage all of you that never let yourself down. Don't look at yourself. Don't think of where you're coming from, but think of what you can achieve, and you can always do it.
Thank you, Hoffman. Thank you. Right. So we go to the next segment of the program. My co-MC, is here. Right.
Accra. Let me take the opportunity to acknowledge Senior David Chinry of Bleoobi 1981. And Bleoobi Kingsley Kuma of 1997. It's been a wonderful morning so far. I would at this point invite the chairman of the occasion to give us his speech.
Hello? Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, good. It's all too soon when you're having fun, huh? Yes. Have we enjoyed ourselves? Very good, thank you. And expect more. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, students, it is time to bring this event to a close. But as a chairperson, I'll have to go over some of the highlights. And I would like to do that very quickly so we can get out of here. Professor Atta talked to us about the sky being the limit and encouraged us to work hard. He said hard work never killed anybody. Moses Cofie talked to us about three things: discipline, being a team player, and having fun. And we got to dance. So I think that sunk in. Everybody remembers that, right? Discipline, being a team player, and having fun. Mr. Quaye
talk to us about time management. He said time and tide waits for no man. So plan to get 8 A's. And he advised you to look at the areas of robotics, artificial intelligence, and 3D. Mr. Animado said that we should commit ourselves, how many percentage? 50%, 90%, 100%, okay? He said we should also challenge ourselves to attain greater heights. And he advised us to consult the experts in the fields we are interested in going to. Mr. Haruna Bello told us about the all too important self-confidence. He reminded us to be self-confident because we are coming from Accra Academy. We should network and we should also love what we do. Prince Addo reminded us that we are privileged to be here and warned us against procrastination. Anthony told us about we should feel the hunger for knowledge with the resources available. Okay? He also told us to have the right attitude and to be patient and persevere. I hope you have enjoyed and benefited from this morning. Thank you very much for attending.
Thank you. Accra. We now call on Bleoobi Emmanuel Kusi, year group 1996, to give us the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much. I would like to indicate that just as reference to what our brother just said, I sat in the same classroom with Hoffman, and then, like he said, he came from Morning Star. I came from Kutubabi 1 and 2. And you guys know, proper side too. So we are very privileged to be here. That's what I want to indicate. It's not going to be easy for you. I started my working life as a cleaner. But to God be the glory. Today, the union are entered to clean the offices in the TUC hall. I'm also now a regional officer for the union, specifically Eastern Region. First of all, we would like to thank the omnipotent God Almighty for making this day a success. We again also like to thank the chairman for the occasion, none other than our very own AAOBA president. Again, we also like to thank the headmaster as well as the entire school authorities for giving us this opportunity as well. We also like to thank the speakers from our very own Prof. Atama, our own brother Vijay, Senior Vijay. We are very grateful. Again, we'd like to thank Brother Moses Cofie, Brother Sami Animado, my senior. Of course, when I was in SS1, he was here, and he was in SS3. We also like to thank Senior Bello as well. Senior Bello. But the good thing is that we have to leave if we have not exited the school. Sponsors. Coca-Cola, we are very, very grateful. Without you, we wouldn't have come this far. Again, we also like to thank Tata Pick Fruits, Exigency Ghana, Viva. Without you, of course, we wouldn't have been here both in and almost everywhere. Everybody was watching us. We also like to thank Indomie. And of course, to all of us, for all the students here, we say thank you. And then quickly reference to Archimedes and others. Let us all be inspired and take this great school to be greater than the way we came to meet it. Thank you very much.
Hello. Accra. Yeah. Easy. Accra. Good. We thank the Old Boys Executive for a wonderful show. Now, nobody should go out. After the program, we'll just stand for the Old Boys to go out. Then I'll come and tell you how to go for your Indomie. We have drinks and biscuits. Yeah, but we'll do it class by class. But let's wait when we finish the program. Then I'll come and tell you how we'll share the Indomie, the drinks, and the biscuits. Thank you very much.
Accra. Well, you mentioned the refreshment for the students, but you didn't talk about the ones for us too. So, Old Boys and guests who have been present to support us, our sisters, we will be having our refreshment in the headmaster's office. So let's all meet there after this and have a chit chat. There is a lady in the house. She is actually a Bleoobi too. Accra, can I have some quiet, please? Her year group was 1996. And even though some of you may not be aware, at that time, we had ladies in our midst. She was the head prefect of the ladies. She goes by the name of Rebecca Yeboah, and I will call on her to say our closing prayer. Let's give a hand for Rebecca.
Accra, you have built nations of men. You made great men of them. Generations of scholars salute you. Black and gray acknowledge you. A lifetime of feeding in thought, in words and deeds. True to the spirit we live. Grab the substance, leave the shadows, then onward to the truth. A great family. Heavenly Father, true to the spirit we live. Grab the substance, leave the shadows, then onward to the truth. A great family. Father, we thank you. Unto you be all the glory, all the praise, all the adoration. Father, the founders dedicated Accra Academy to you. And this moment we dedicate all students of Accra Academy to you, both past and present. Father, we thank you that you make us builders of many generations, repairers of the breach, We thank you, oh God, that we will have an excellent spirit, the right attitude. We thank you that we will have the fortitude, Father, to persevere in every good work. Father, I commit these ones into your hands, that indeed they will pass their exams. Father, I thank you, oh God, that they will make it to the various universities in Ghana and around the world. I thank you, oh God, that they will become responsible husbands, responsible fathers, and responsible men in this society. Father, I thank you, oh God, that they who pass through their hands will testify that indeed you have been good. Thank you for teachers. Thank you for all stakeholders. We give you praise for a successful program, and we are so grateful for your presence. Thank you, Father, for an answered prayer. To you be all the glory, and you do far exceedingly abundantly above what we are thinking, about what we are asking. To you be all the glory, all the adoration. In Jesus' mighty name we pray with thanksgiving. Amen.